Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today we're going to do a roundup of the June monthly report and a few of the upcoming patches and events that are coming out between now and I suppose the end of August as well now. Gamescom is on the 18th to the 21st of August. Star Citizen will be there for the entire event, streaming, gameplay, and they're going to have a booth there in the shape of an Idris. There will be meetups every evening and a ship announced at one of those meetups. It should be awesome. More about that closer to the time. BrizenCon is on the 23rd of July, and this is a big Star Citizen fan meetup in Manchester, United Kingdom. Tickets are still available and will now also be sold on the doors. There will be Foundry 42 devs there, fans, YouTubers, streamers, and panels, as well as some exhibitors. Links in the description to find out more about that. Changes in sub-videos as well. CIG are changing a load of their video content, pretty much all of their video content that they produce on the website for subscribers, and the way they're going to do it, it looks like that every week they're going to be looking at a different studio in an ATV and then focus on a few topics, and a lot of those ATV segments that they had in the past will be broken down into their own segments. It's all in flux, but it's looking very promising. Let's take a look at the individual studios and what they've been doing for the month of June. CIG Los Angeles, one of their main focuses has been the Item System 2.0, also work on item-specific signatures and changes, so that's like IR and EM signatures for individual items as well. Further work, hopefully, for the soon-to-be-released new use and interaction system as well. They've continued work on the Caterpillar and the tractor beam for that too. The Caterpillar's engine room and cargo rooms have been fully completed internally as well. The MISC Reliant is being vigorously bug fixed in aid to get it into 2.5 flight ready. More clothing work for 2.5 as well. Obviously a lot of work going into Grim Hex. Space stations in general are being looked at as well. They're working on marine light and medium armors, geometry and headwork for like general work going into the female player models, as well as clothing for that as well. Working on quicker ship entry and exit animations and then adapting them for every ship. Further work to living animations for dynamic areas like mess halls, hospitals, bars and nightclubs. Also, they are making the cover system for the FPS consistent and more ergonomic. There's work also going on the new 2.0 helmets. The armor and weapon loadouts have been worked on the FPS side for the item system changes. The new weapon inspection assets were completed too. That's them literally picking up and looking at guns for shopping and that sort of stuff. And there's lots of work that have been going into 2.4 and 2.41 in general. The focus of the studio now, though, is getting 2.5 ready. Austin and Foundry 42 UK have both been working on some quite similar projects for a lot of stuff and been working together on a few bits and bobs. The more UK-centric stuff, they've finished their new ship. They've also been working on the Polaris Corvette as well, fleshing out some of the FPS K&W weapons, and a new small vehicle has been passed on to the production team. I'm assuming this is the Argo that will be coming out in 2.5, but it might not be. It could be a totally new vehicle. Down at CIG Austin, all hands have been on deck for the back end and cleaning up of 2.4 and 2.4.1 releases. Now they've been working on the kiosk system for purchasing, selling, and how commodities and storage will work. They're also working on getting it into our hands in the form of Dumpers Depot, so that will be purchasing items and weapons for your ships there. The ship artists are working on the F7A Hornet and Herald. They're both in their final art phases there. Lots of lighting work on Grim Hex and on ship animations like entry and exits of them. Also working on animations for sitting, relaxing and interacting with terminals, as well as interacting with other items too. The QA guys, they've been working on getting 2.4 and 2.4.1 patches, but they are now targeted at working on 2.5, obviously. Game support have been helping with various releases, as well as fixing things where they can. Lots of coordinating with the Evocati and the PTU testers to make sure all the info and data that the testers provide is being used effectively to fix and improve the game. They've also made progress with the patch reduction system so that eventually we'll just be downloading what we need to. There have been core network upgrades and upgraded build storage that will see massive performance improvements to build delivery. There is also general improvements to stability and performance too, and there are hints at working on more ship weaponry and designs throughout July. The final art phase of Shubin's interior for Squadron 42 is being done. They are getting the Levski or Nix landing zone ready for integration with procedural planet tech, and they're talking about flying from space to planet to the landing zone and saying how cool it is. Also, they've been working on that lighting for Grimhex. That's going to be with us in 2.5. They've been finishing off shields, coolers, power plants, and quantum drives for the item system 2.0 rollout. They've been also working on smaller vehicle components and how the Dragonfly and other similar sized craft will use them. There's been loads of progress on the Bengal. That is looking amazing so far, by the way. And it's all being finished off and tied together at the moment. The Idris's interior is almost completed as well, and they've been working on the Javelin, Javelin's hangar, I believe, for Squadron 42. The Argo's been completed, and the Dragonfly has started production. Also, they've been working on the Vandal Driller, which I believe is a carrier craft of some kind for the Vandal. They've been phasing out DirectX 9's code and phasing in more efficient code, improving HDR effects. Also, they're going to be moving over to voxels soon for glass cloud tech. Lots and lots of work on the FPS, cover, blind firing and jumping, new animations for pistols and reloading. They're also implementing new network enhancements too. There's been amazing work on the audio, optimizing various tech and getting more realistic audio from just around environments and that sort of stuff. Lots of focus on the environment and ambience of Grimhex, working on new content for future releases after 2.6 too. So there's going to be new landing and takeoff stuff there, and they're adding the star map to the Moby-Glass environment. They've also completed various fixes on 2.4 and 2.4.1, fixing various bugs and getting the alpha in general working better. Down in Foundry 42 Frankfurt, there's been quite a big focus on bearing weapons. They've completed a new size 5 ship weapon. They've also finished the FPS ballistic smart ammo, a bearing grenade. They've completed the first pass on a P8S submachine gun from Bearing, also working on getting FPS weapons more responsive. The Q&A have been testing procedural planets. There are lots and lots of progress on the tools used to create procedural planets, and we should hopefully see some tangible trailers and teasers soon. Cinematics, they've been working on the mocap shoots and processing the material needed for them, working out if there's anything else they need. They've smoothed out animation code in general and further optimized head bob and head stabilization. The zone system has expanded to cover more systems within the game. There's lots of work continuing on subsumption, AI tasks and activities. So task archetypes now can have chains of subtasks that dynamically handle interruptions and interactions, and they can now be created. This also uses checkpoints so that the AI will use these points or checkpoints as points of reference to come back to continue to complete a task if they're interrupted or they have to do something else before they finish. Ship behaviors are also being worked on now too, as well as the local navigation mesh. That's almost completed. This is how characters move around planets and ships. Think the Morotor, but with less clipping. Work on unique Vandal behavior as well, because they're aliens after all, so they're going to be unique when compared to humans, and going to be unique when compared to all the other alien races for the way they fly, pilot, behavior, all that sort of stuff. They're all aliens, they're all going to be different. Lots of work on stations, services, landing pads, how ships will be stored when they land, and they're working on the NPC crime system and police system, so where crimes and criminals are detected and how they're reported to NPC police. The modular work on the FPS side of loadouts and suits is getting done, allowing us to fit gear and items, basically. They're also looking at modular deployable weapons as well. More on the Nix and Levski landing zone, that's all been worked on, and its temporary home in the Stanton system. They're all integrating that all together. That's going to be very exciting. Behavior, or BHVR, they've been working on the hologram framework. This is going to help with better frame rates on ships that use holograms, like the Constellation, Retaliator, and Aurora, and also they've been filling the empty hologram screens on other ships. Lots of work on Grimhex, obviously, whiteboxing for shops, art, and various locations, setting up gravity, airlocks, spawn rooms, landing pads, kill triggers, hangars. They also focused on polish on Grimhex so that each area will kind of be arranged to tell a story of who congregates there, and maybe some sort of gang mentality being shown as well. Down in Turbulent, they helped roll out that MFA or two-step authentication system for extra security on your account. The new communication platform 2.0 is being tested internally currently. This includes the chat and forum integration as well. This is basically what Orgs 2.0 has been rolled into and merged into. The new game launcher is being worked on and should be with us by the end of summer. It will support various platforms, so PTU Live and any other builds that they currently have. And we'll have background patching and other sensible features. Hopefully, the incremental updates will be at the same time, allowing us to download smaller patches, but that is more of a hope. And that's really it for the June monthly report. As we ramp up to patch 2.5 and Gamescom, I expect we will see more and more of this, what looks like to be an FPS-centric patch and FPS-centric gameplay. So that's what it looks like. It's going to be the next big thing, Grimhex, how that's all going to work, new reputation system, criminal system. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are too. There was a lot of other filler in that monthly report as well, and lots of other obvious things that they've done. Obviously worked on 2.4, they've done lots of work on Squadron 42, and tons of stuff they can't talk about. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, throughout the month of July, you can win a Dragonfly just by commenting on any of our Star Citizen content, such as this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the verse.